Welcome to another episode, and today we are going to be talking to you about Silent Hill for the PS1. I wish I had a really good reason why we picked this game, but Mason was just like...
Just because I forced him to.
Pretty much it. So Mason, since you're the one that wanted to play this game, why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
All right, Silent Hill is a 1990s survival horror game. The reason it was made is because Konami just wanted something to appeal to the Western audience and to go up against Resident Evil.
Yeah. You can actually, I think you can really tell that they're trying to do a Western type of...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's not your typical Japanese horror kind of thing, but it's not quite Resident Evil. Everyone always compares the two, and this is the first time I've ever played Silent Hill. I don't think they're anything alike at all.
It's its own thing.
Yeah.
It really is.
You can definitely tell that, I think. I thought it was really interesting. I was doing some reading about this game, and the development team was kind of just thrown together of people that really couldn't fit in on any other team.
The team was really assembled just from the rejects, really.
Yeah, that's what I got out of it. What is it? I think they're called Team Silent or something.
Yeah, they were called Team Silent.
Yeah.
This team was just made to make this game, really.
Yeah, did they stay together through all the games, or is it kind of just...
They made a couple more, but they broke up.
Okay. All right, let's get into the bulk of the game, which is just the gameplay. And that is the main part of this game.
That is true.
So give me some details. What's the gameplay like?
Well, here's the thing. I think the gameplay, for the most part, it holds up really well since it's a horror game.
Yeah.
If this were just like a regular kind of action game, it would not hold up at all.
Yeah, it's got those tank controls. Even though this isn't like Resident Evil where it's got painted pre-rendered backgrounds. It's actual 3D, but it still has the tankiness.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I don't think that, and some people are on both sides of the fence here, but I don't think that really hurts it that much. I think it kind of adds to it. It adds to the intensity and the anticipation.
It does. But here's another thing. Tank controls, that's just how people moved in a 3D space back then.
Mm-hmm.
We did not know how to do that at the time.
Yeah.
We were still learning.
Yeah, and when this one came out, from my understanding, the DualShock was actually already out, so they could have done better, but they went ahead and went with the tank controls.
Yeah.
And they actually stayed with that even for Silent Hill 2.
They did.
One huge aspect of the gameplay was actually the limitations of the hardware.
That is true. But I think it helps the game. The textures look like crap.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Mm.
But it still gives it that grungy kind of scary look.
Yeah.
I don't really know the right word for it.
I don't know. The PS1 fog is what I like to call it. But everything's gray. You can't see very far. And to me, that actually adds to... They steered into that. Because that really adds to the horror of the game.
They worked with the limitations.
Yeah, they definitely worked with the limitations of this. They really steered into, especially the fog, because there'll be times that there's creatures and stuff, that they're out there. You have a little radio that signals when you're getting close to an abomination, an enemy, whatever you want to call it. And sometimes you have no idea where it's at. It can be 10 feet from you, but there's this fog, and the fog is there because it couldn't render very far, but it actually just looks like it's this sleepy town that you can't see very far, and it's hazy. It really does. And I think it aged really well that way.
I agree. The graphics still hold up in its own way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the main character kind of looks funny and walks funny and steers funny, and that hasn't aged well, but that's easy to get past. The main parts of the gameplay are basically you're wandering around town.
And you gotta solve puzzles.
Yeah, you're solving puzzles mainly to try to progress.
Yeah.
Because you can fight in this game, but there is no point to it.
There really isn't.
I don't know if you've noticed, but it does not matter how many enemies you kill, they never drop anything.
I was about to say, I don't believe there is an item drop at all.
I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if any enemy drops an item. You could Google this or whatever. But
I believe that there's a couple bosses that might drop something.
Yeah, but those are set pieces or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's an advantage to killing any enemy at all. You can run past all of them, and just try to solve the puzzles basically.
And I believe after a while they'll just come back.
Yeah, I don't think if you took your gun and killed every flying little creature in Silent Hill,
You're just wasting your time.
Yeah, you're just wasting your ammo too,
Mm-hmm.
which you may need to get away.
Exactly, or to kill the boss.
That's not really a bad thing though. The combat is not really why you're here.
No.
So the fact that you don't really need to kill these enemies isn't really that big of a deal.
The enemies are just obstacles.
Yeah, that's all they are. You know what? They honestly feel like. I mean, you have your puzzles. You have the infamous piano puzzle that, by God, I did not solve. By the
Really?
way, no, I had to Google it. All right, I am big into not looking up how to do things. I want to, especially the first time I play something, I want to experience it the way that it was meant to be experienced. And I'll be damned if, like 45 minutes later, I wasn't Googling what the hell do I do with this piano, and I wasn't even close.
I find it funny though because it wasn't the piano that got me. It was what was after the piano. Finding the pieces to the piano. I meant.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I couldn't figure that out at all. That whole school section took me way longer than it should. But let's talk about why you're even doing all of this.
Okay.
The story of the game.
I want you to talk about this part because I think you have an interesting opinion on this.
Okay, my interesting opinion is the story is stupid. It is absolutely stupid. And don't get me wrong, the game is still pretty good. But first off, like every PS1 game, I don't know what genre, a lot of games still do this. But before you get to the start menu of the game, if you wait, there's a cutscene. There's like a little musical number and whatnot, and they used to be very common.
Yeah.
If you don't watch this one, and when it starts off, it doesn't seem like it's important. It's just this eerie music and cutscene of characters you don't know and stuff, and then parts of the game that are going to be coming up, like when you meet the police officer and stuff, and then all of a sudden you're riding next to the police officer, and then all of a sudden you crash, and then like you could have just hit start and skipped all that before the start menu.
But why would you want to?
Well, how were you supposed to know that you needed to watch that? Here I am. I'm like getting ready to play the game. I hit start, I'm clicking past all the advertisements, Konami pops up, I'm hitting start. Next thing I know, I'm just climbing out of a Jeep and I'm like, where's Cheryl? And I'm like, who the hell's Cheryl?
So you were lost from the moment.
From the very get-go, I was lost. I did eventually, I wanted to know what was going on in the story. I didn't look up any, like, what to do, but I went back and Googled, why the hell am I here? And it's like, oh, your adopted daughter suggested that she needed to come to this town called Silent Hill. I don't care if you watch the cutscene, it does not tell you that. It doesn't. It never tells you that. It never even really tells you that it's your adopted daughter. And the whole thing's stupid. Like, she's, what, 7?
Give or take.
Okay, I've got a 3-year-old, and if we were in a car crash and I got knocked out, I guarantee you that she wouldn't just get up and leave me there with some notes about where she went. Like, he obviously is a terrible parent. Game could have been over right there. Where's Cheryl? She's in the passenger seat waiting for you to wake up. Silent Hill, credits flash. And this isn't ruining anything. Like, I could sit here and tell you the whole entire story, and it wouldn't ruin anything because, A, the story's not good. B, they do a very bad job of telling it. And C, it's not why you're playing the game. To me, really, it's not why you're playing the game.
And I think he's just tanked this entire YouTube channel already.
No,
his credibility is gone.
No, it's. Why do you think it is good?
I enjoy the mystery of it. I enjoy trying to find the pieces, personally. That's just me.
Like, mystery and not knowing can be good, but sometimes it's just laziness.
I just think it's good.
Okay.
It's batshit crazy, but I love it.
Let's move on to something that actually is really good at the game, and that is the atmosphere in general.
All right, finally, we're on the same page, guys.
Yeah, very good. I would say, first off, lack of music at times, awesome.
I wish more games would do that.
Mm-hmm. That can be a really big thing.
For me, just the general atmosphere, I think the PS1 limitations help the atmosphere.
Yeah, for sure.
Going back
That's
into
what we were talking about earlier with the gameplay.
Yeah. So they built this world, this atmosphere, based on those limitations.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the whole reason for the fog. The game couldn't render past what you're seeing.
the radio, like every once in a while, start crackling whenever
Yep.
there's an enemy around. That's
it just
brilliant.
builds up and
It's
builds up until
it's a simple way to let you know, hey, there's something around, and you can't like what you said with the fog, you can't see. So
that flying thing could be anywhere.
yeah, it's not. It's the opposite of Resident Evil. There's not these jump scares. There's not this turn the corner and boo. It's is something going to happen? Is something not going to happen? Is that thing that I know is near me a threat, or am I getting away from it? Like,
yeah.
And then even better than the lack of music was the actual music. It's so weird. It's industrial, and it's like this. It's always like when it comes in, it always feels like grindy on your brain a little bit, like it's out of place, but it's perfectly in place.
Right, like that banjo that starts at the very beginning of the game.
Oh yeah, the CG. That's really cool in itself. That CGI cutscene that I skipped at the beginning, the music in that actually is really cool. The rest of it's stupid, but the music in that's really cool.
Exactly, because like I don't think of a banjo as terrifying at all.
But no,
it's just.
Oh, I do. Have you never seen Deliverance?
Once or twice.
Yeah, not twice. I've seen it once. That's all you need to see. But something I thought was really cool is the guy that did the music for the game. When he introduced it to the team, like the industrial part, they said there's something wrong with your whatever they were using to play it on. They're like, I think that it's faulty, and he's like, no, this is industrial music. This is what it's supposed to sound like.
Right.
It's not like that's purposeful. And
right. It's supposed to be some machinery in there.
Yeah.
Some distortion. It's supposed to be disgusting.
Yeah, he had to talk them into using it, and I'm glad he did because I think that it worked out really well, especially with some of the scenery that you're in, like when you're in the basement of the school and stuff, and like the boiler room and stuff like that. Like it's just really good. One thing that with the story that kind of is cool, multiple endings based off of what you do, which it adds replay value and stuff, but would have been impossible unless you like looked up a guide. Like I played it, I got the bad ending. All right, I didn't know how to save someone I don't want to do any spoilers. I didn't know how to find these items. Like there's multiple different items that if you have and you use correctly, you'll get different endings. And I didn't know anything, like unless you just explored for no freaking reason.
I explored for no reason.
Yeah, and did you get a good ending without knowing about it?
To be fair, no.
See, even if you explore everything, you still would have to kind of know stuff that you shouldn't be able to know.
I will say the way I kind of knew that I needed these items, just because I was exploring, found them, never used them, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, what am I doing with this?
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you that, but you still don't know, like, hey, in the middle of this boss fight, use this item. Yeah.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
But it is what it is. All right, so for an overview, just if you've got to recommend this game or not recommend this game, what are you doing and why?
I'm honestly a bit more wary to recommend this game.
Really?
Yes, because I feel like when people think of survival horror, first thing they come up with is Resident Evil.
Yeah.
This game is completely different than Resident Evil. So I think you have to be a bit more into that genre of game in order to enjoy it.
Okay, so you're gonna go with like if this is your thing, then play it.
Yes.
Okay. Honestly, and I was surprised because I didn't think I was gonna like this. I think that this is a game that you should play. Like I don't think it's not a must play. It's somewhere in between. If you can get your hands on it and you got some free time, play this game.
Definitely.
I think it stands up to the time. Do not play the remake, the PS3 remaster. It's got a lot of bugs and issues, I've heard.
Unfortunately, it doesn't. That is the version I played, and I remember during the last boss fight, my sound went completely out.
Okay, I actually played the PS1 version.
Really?
Yeah, and it was fine. So,
but really, other than
trusty
audio,
PS1, I pressed the button and it was just like green light. That's been our thoughts on Silent Hill. What do you think about Silent Hill? Obviously, we're amateurs, so our thoughts mean nothing.
His thoughts are wrong.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
And you're not a professional, so I'm okay with that.
Sure. All right, fine. I'll give you
that. But All right. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. Comment down below. Let us know what you think, like we said. And hit the notification bell. We also have a Twitch that we stream to whatever game that we're about to review, where we're usually on Twitch just messing around and not being very good at it. And also on Twitter, we post what we're thinking, games that we've recently picked up. You posted the other day.
Yeah.
So just keep up to date with us. We're very important people.
Exactly.
See you again.
Remember, like this video if I'm right, and comment if Zach is wrong.
Yeah, do that.
I'm expecting 1,000 comments.
Until next time, guys.